big overview of what's the third dimension, what's the fourth, and what's the fifth dimension. You know, dimension, you could look at it as dimensions or level of frequency, or you could just look at it as levels of understanding. So I love the description of the level of consciousness actually being just the understanding that we had come to thus far in our life. What's true for me? At a certain point in my life, fear and anger and being judgmental were very much, you know, the truth, right? And for the majority of humanity, you can see out there right now, I think, at least from my perspective, the majority of humanity is operating in fear and anger, predominantly on the planet. We're afraid of stuff, or we're pretty upset about it, of what's going on in the world. Now, the reason I explain this, these dimensions or levels, is that a different reality presents itself as very real, very factual, with a change in our understanding. So in what we call the third dimension, the characteristics of the third dimension are that it is the home of conditional love. We can start there, that everything is a condition. I trade you very much is another way of saying I love you in the third dimension. Romantic love is very much a part of the third dimension. Nothing wrong with it. It just is. In the third dimension, if you're having reactions and you're not actually making choices, but you're just reacting. I feel worried. I feel angry. I feel ashamed. I feel like they're wrong and I'm right. If I feel like addiction, like cravings, if I find myself in any of these feelings that simply don't feel good, they just don't feel good. I don't feel good, right? It is the third dimension. I find myself wafting in between wanting something and not getting what I want, and disinterest in whatever. Now, in this dimension, we're governed by certain laws. And the first law is that one of linear time, that I'm going to put in a certain amount of time and then I'm going to get a result, right? So I will manifest, or things happen in my life through effort. I'm going to simply work hard, and then I'm going to get a paycheck, and then I'm going to get the new car. So time in the third dimension is really a law, right? And with this, the world operates correctly. Planes land on time. We know how long it is at 60 miles an hour, and I can go 60 miles, right? There is another dimension, and it sounds nuts. I know. You're sitting there listening to this and you go, what? Come on now, there's another dimension. Well, there is, and things operate differently. And the amazing thing that is super mind-blowing is that you access this other dimension through what we're thinking and what we're feeling. So the third dimension was all those heavy, unwanted feelings. In the fourth dimension, all of a sudden, I begin to release my judgments and my assumptions, because in the third dimension, I assume everything. I release the judgments and the assumptions that I had in the third. I start to become willing to change. I become optimistic. Forgiveness becomes an option for me where it wasn't in the third. I start to experience synchronicities, coincidences. I migrate from conditional love, which we all know what that's like. There's a law, rule, regulation, all of society is based on conditions, to I'm going to have a good feeling about you or me that is not contingent upon your actions. That sounds very strange in the third, but it sounds perfectly logical in the fourth. When I start migrating, and it's like a rainbow, it's bit by bit by bit by bit, what happens is my life starts to operate differently. Synchronicities and coincidences become commonplace. And this is a weird one. I know it sounds weird, but time itself becomes malleable. Instead of things taking like a certain amount of time and effort to happen, all of a sudden they just start happening. Very strange indeed when you start to actually experience this. Talking about it sounds like, as a concept, that's pretty out there and woo-woo. But in reality, once it becomes part of your experience, then you're like, oh, I get it now. Now, there's this malleability of time. It speeds up, meaning I think it, and instead of it taking me a year, all of a sudden, it happens in a week. In this dimension, you no longer start to see and seek for love outside of you, to feel good outside of you. I know what's going to make me feel great and feel in love. And it's that one right over there in them Wrangler jeans. You start to actually feel a love for you. There's no love for self as a real feeling in the third dimension. I start to feel this naturally in the fourth. Like that great feeling that you felt about your dog or your grandmother or your niece or your nephew, you start to feel that way about you. In the fifth dimension, what Liz is talking about in the fifth is absolutely supernatural. In the fifth dimension, I think of something and then it happens. And this dimension is a dimension where you're in love, bliss. You see you and me are one. There is no separation. And you experience a elevated feeling of, like I said, bliss. Time starts to shrink to instantaneous or near instantaneous. Now, this is really super important, and it's one of the core things to understand about the work that we're doing in Cogno Conscious. In order to reside in a place where you can be at peace and have what you think and what you feel happen right now, you need to process your automatic reactions. Like if I have an automatic reaction where I walk in and get mad and I feel like, oh, well, you could do things like me, where you walk in the room, you get upset, and then the TV, $800 TV, damn, did I do that? Well, yes, you did that. And so it is the mastery of your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions, so that when you get to this fifth dimension where you're not causing chaos. And that's what we do. We're alleviating those automatic reactions of your lifetime, the shame, the guilt, the grief, the humiliation, the anger, all of that stuff that, their external factors triggers you. So anyway, that's a real brief overview of what the dimensions are, and we walk up step by step by step through the different understandings. And when I say this, it's super important to understand that for most of us, we're really fighting it. Like, I know I should feel love and forgiveness for everybody. But you know how I wake up in the morning? I'm like, woof, screw those people and what they did, and that's wrong. And I can't help how I feel. Imagine where a state where that person that's in your life, that job, that situation, that mom, that dad, that brother, that sister, the one that took all the money from the will, whatever the heck going on, and you're free. You're free from it. And you're just like, oh, yeah. Matter of fact, you don't even think about it. It just doesn't exist. You become free to be at that other level of understanding, enjoy the benefits of the fourth and fifth dimension, and not create chaos for yourself. Is that hopefully, is that understandable? The way, put in the chat if that is understandable. I know it's kind of a lot in a short period of time, but does that, put in the chat if you got it, if I was making sense, if you see the application.
Hey, Bill. Well, everybody's putting in their in the chat. Let's invite Sandy on so people can kind of get a real life idea of what we're talking about here. So Sandy, if you will unmute yourself. You there, Sandy?
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And by the way, thank you all for making those comments. It helps me to know.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you and we can see you. So
hi everyone. Hi, Billy Liz.
Yeah, this is Sandra Nathan. She's one of our Cognomovement practitioners from the UK, and she survived Cogno Conscious last year. So what our real question is, Sandy, what was it like for you? And also, what happened after? How was your consciousness different?
Okay. Well, first of all, I'd like to tell everyone, everything Bill and Liz have just said about Cogno Conscious is how it is. That is how it is. You go in at one level and you come out at a different level. It is just, it really is transformative. And when Liz spoke about people blessing everyone on the plane going home, I was doing that to anyone and everyone, and I still do it. And I have managed to maintain this level since Cogno Conscious, because I have a daily practice and I love myself unconditionally, and I really feel it. I've managed to maintain it. And so it's just, most of my days are spent in, and if I were to say that my default position is bliss and joy, you might think, oh God, that's a bit sick, a bit corny. But actually, it's not. I am just so happy in myself. I am just so happy and content in myself. And not that every day is an amazing day and everything goes my way, but what happens is that even the days when things are a little bit challenging, I have a different attitude to it. And it just all passes over and nothing seems to bother me the way it did before. And I know that everything and anything is possible. And, we did reach the fifth dimension, and it was just absolutely awesome. The whole experience, it's over 4 days. And the group of people, they're all like-minded people who attend. So it's really, and everybody benefits from it. And you see different people as they're benefiting and how their relationships with other people are changing. And, people who have not spoken to other members of their family for years, suddenly somebody calls them whilst they're even there. It's absolutely amazing. I would say that everything Liz and Bill say about it is what it is what I've experienced of it, and all the other attendees who I know have experienced it that same way. I mean, for me in particular, I would say whereas previously I was living unconsciously, now I live consciously. Things were happening to me on an unconscious level. I was getting into my life what I guess was inside of me. But because I purged myself of a lot of the old stuff that was holding me back, now I seem to attract good things. So what's inside of me, I reflect, and then it just sort of comes back to me. I'm magnet, it's like a magnet, it comes back to you. So I feel really, really blessed. I'm not religious, I'm more spiritual, but I'm starting to use words like blessed, and it's just because that's what it feels like. So I've had lots of amazing things since Cogno Conscious. A business opportunity happened whilst I was actually there on the course. A business opportunity came in, an insurance payout that had been dragging its feet for ages suddenly paid out the day I landed. Relationship I was working on at Cogno Conscious changed completely. It's kind of like I let that person go, and now they come to me, and all over me now. They just love me. Just never. Yeah, it's, I think, well, that love was always there, but I think because of the way I was, that person wasn't able to show it to me. And the relationship is just beautiful. Money, finances have improved. I would say now my default position is peace and joy. It's how I feel. That really is how I feel. And when Bill was talking about, when you're in the fifth dimension, because we go through these dimensions, I don't stay in any of, in any one particularly long, but like when he talked about the fifth dimension, and he said, if you think of something and then it suddenly happens. Well, that happened to me with that apartment, because there was an apartment that my partner and I were really interested in. We loved it, and we thought we could do loads of things with it and make it perfect for us, but it didn't have a garage. I arrived back after Cogno Conscious, and I was thinking about this apartment, and I passed the estate agent's window, and there it was. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to go in there and say to them, look, I know it doesn't have a garage, but maybe we can rent a garage from somewhere else, because I really love that apartment. Went in only to find that that apartment is now advertised with a garage. So a garage has suddenly become available, which wasn't there before. So I think that's what Bill talks about when he talks about the fifth dimension. You think of something, then it happens. And that's what happened to me. It's just really amazing, wonderful things. I guess I could go on talking for ages and ages, because I just love it so. And I'm going to Cogno Conscious again. I'm lucky enough to be able to do that.
Oh, that's so great. There was one thing, I didn't talk about, and that was your intuition.
Yes.
And this type of thing in the third dimension, it's very hard to access, and it's by accident. And in the fourth dimension, it becomes at will. And the fifth dimension, it simply is. So this can be, I'm going to tell everybody, a bit disturbing, right? Because if you haven't had intuition in the past, all of a sudden you're getting information, and you're like, what? Whoa, that's a little strange that I knew that. Maybe you could talk about what happened as far as your intuition.
Yes, I had a premonition of something, and it came to pass. It came to me completely out of the blue, and the very next day it happened. And that kind of shook me, because that had never happened to me before. That was a big shock to my system. I wasn't sure how to deal with it. So I got on the phone to Liz after trying to cope with it for about 2 weeks. And then she ironed it all out and explained it to me. But yes.
So anyway, these are simply features of the fourth and fifth dimension. They're very, very natural, and it's not bad. It is natural, as natural as breathing. Just like time operates differently, intuition becomes available. You're live, Liz.
Privately. Sorry, trying to have the message someone.
Okay.
So
no problem. Okay. So anyway, sorry. That is a very interesting phenomenon, and thank you so much for sharing.
I have a question for Sandy though, before we let her go. And I want you to tell the truth, Sandy. You're not going to your feelings at all. I really want you to tell the truth. Is Cogno conscious during the process? Is it fun?
Well, it can be lots of fun, but there can be lots of tears as well. Because you go right up through that scale from shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride. And you work through all of that. And when you're working through that, there's a lot of emotion involved, or there can be, depending on which one triggers you the most, etc. But yeah, after that, once you go into the upper realms, it's just beautiful. For me, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky I've managed to maintain, to a great extent.
Yeah, the end of it is the feeling is so incredible that it's not explainable. We really do touch what it feels like to have enlightenment. Now, most of us don't really stay right there, because if we did, we really wouldn't be effective on the planet anymore. This group, Bill and I know, when you come to these events, when you're part of our group, you really are here to change the world, to do something, to be who you came to be, to take the information back out and change lives. So most of us don't hang out there in that fifth, because, we sort of disconnect. We realize, okay, this is what it is. But that end moment, Sandy, did you have an experience with what we call the portal at the very end? Were you aware of that?
Well, no, I wasn't really aware of the portal, but I was just aware of this heightened state in the room, this heightened state of energy. I just felt just a glorious feeling of heightened state of energy. I felt just as though all my molecules were vibrating at this really high, fast level. That's what I felt like. Really awesome.
So at the very end, and every Cogno conscious is absolutely different than the Cogno conscious before. The structure is the same, but because of who arrives and who Bill and I are at the next one, I mean, we do this only once a year generally, because it's big and it's even hard on us. But it's different every time. So this time at the end, everybody in the enlightenment level, everybody had their eyes closed. And Bill and I had our eyes open, and Bill was actually leading. I was holding space. And let me back up just a little bit. Earlier that morning, Leah had said, I see a grid on the floor. I see a grid of light on the floor. I'm like, okay, well, that's interesting, but energy gets real funky. Time changes, dimension changes, like things get weird. So, okay, she had noticed that earlier. So the session before, I had noticed light moving between people. And I kind of thought I was getting a visual migraine, because the energy gets so hot in the room that sometimes it has affected me that way. And so I'm seeing it move. And then all of a sudden, Bill and I become aware of this large sheet of what looks like silvery blue white energy to, I guess it would have been the left of the room. Again, I'm kind of thinking, is that there, or am I having a moment? And the energy is so big, and you just feel amazing. Like the light from each of our bodies is so big in that moment. Mm-hmm. So Bill notices it, and he's leading the session, and he starts pointing at me like, could you maybe go see what that is, or do something about it? We both were very surprised to visually see it. Some people saw it actually with their eyes closed, but everybody experienced it. So I'm going to have Bill and maybe even Leah jump in on what that experience was like for you.
Leah, why don't you go ahead, just to start.
You're muted, Leah. You're still muted.
I was trying to find where I actually was on here. Yeah, so I was just filming and working and answering emails like I do during Cogno Conscious, just doing the background stuff. And I kind of looked up and I saw like a grid of energy, and it was moving like, you know, it was moving and vibrating. And I was like, oh, that's weird. You know how the carpet, sometimes like weird carpet makes your eyes do crazy things. So I was like, oh, that's weird. But then I realized it actually wasn't the carpet. If I didn't look at the carpet and looked up, it was actually raised above the electrical plug-in. So it wasn't there. It wasn't the carpet. And it was just this like grid moving back and forth, you know, a couple feet above the ground. And I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. So then I told Liz and Bill about it, and then they had their experience. So yeah.
Well, for me, you know, it was kind of strange that blue shimmery, blue silver shimmery, and it had taken over probably, I don't know, maybe 300-400 feet of the room. And it was physical. I mean, you know, it was, you could actually physically see it. And it was, you know, I didn't want to I'm in the middle of working with the group to keep them, you know, going through the process. And that's when I was, you know, tapping Liz's shoulders. I was like, look over there, you know. And anyway, it was very interesting. And, you know, one of the things about that is there's a very interesting phenomenon that happens, and there are like the universe is very large. Don't know if everybody knows that. It's really big. It's eternal, and there are you know, shall we say, life forms that are very interested in elevating consciousness and being of assistance, but we are very dense, you know, here in the third dimension, right, with anger and fear and resentment. Anyway, as we come up into these areas of love and it's unconditional and this type of arena, they can come down and meet us and help. They just can't go below a certain level and lower themselves to a certain level. So this phenomenon is a phenomenon that is not just, you know, us. It happens, you know, in situations where there's a group of people and they are working on their consciousness and they have elevated themselves to a certain level. So that is, it is a phenomenon, and anyway, it was wonderful to have it show up. Liz?
There was we'll tell a couple of fun stories and bring it back to some of the questions you guys have had about consciousness. So somebody talked about the morphic field. So we know that when the pattern changes within your body, and Bill's and my work, we deal with changing the way the patterns run in your nervous system. What we do is very physical. We know that electromagnetic hormonal pattern literally runs in a cyclical motion, creating its own kind of a field that interacts with the greater morphic field. So when we're in this process, and you know, it happens over time when you're doing your sessions alone or with a practitioner, but this is very concentrated over 4 days. All of a sudden, your neurological patterns change so dramatically that during the session, things start to happen. So that spooky action at a distance that Einstein talked about, the split photon experiments, start to happen. So during the session, some of the things are business deals. Like Sandy said, a business deal started to go through during the session. That happened to 2 or 3 other people, that during the session, they get a text or an email that their property has sold or their business has sold, or something that they've been trying to accomplish happens. The other weird thing that happens, and this happens when your consciousness is changed. It doesn't just happen during the session because of all of our energy. It happens after because your consciousness is different. You're now functioning in the fourth dimension, and your energetic system just finds its match very, very quickly. It's not magic. It's not even woo-woo. It's part of the scientific model that we all know and love. So we've had people that during the session, all of a sudden the person they're working on at that level, you know, like a parent that they've had issue with their entire life, that person texts them a glowing message like, oh, I was just thinking about you and I want you to know how much I love and respect and honor. And the looks on people's faces are priceless because they're like, you are never gonna believe. And then they show it all to us. Like, and then those relationships are healed from then on. It's the most incredible thing. Personally, it's the thing that moves me to tears. And if you guys know me, I'm not a person who's moved to tears easily. I don't know why. My body just doesn't do that. But these stories of people whose lives they've reconnected with someone that they've been at war with their entire life. Can you imagine that? Leaving, and in that moment of leaving, not weeks later, but in that moment, it's mended. But some of the things that happen after weeks after, one of our participants, someone we know and love dearly, left and was greeted by a new guide that helped them heal something very significant in their body. Bill got a phone call. Hey, is this normal? So this is a really cool phenomenon. What Bill said is so significant. As your consciousness level raises, and what we mean is your voltage and your awareness equal to what is happening in your life, you then have access to guidance. Now, whether it's a human teacher or a spiritual teacher, angels, whatever the heck, aliens, I don't know. But as your consciousness level raises, you have guidance equal to it. So you go home and you seem to have a whole new host of friends very often. Do you remember some of these stories, Bill?
Oh yeah. Well, you know, there's changes in your life where, you know, people come into your life and people go out of your life, and it happens very, very quickly. Well, there was one question in the chat, and I want to directly address it, and that question was, how do we move in between dimensions? And the way that we move in between is through a new understanding. And when I say new understanding, I mean your thoughts and feelings. So everyone has kind of a preset. And when I say preset, I mean, how do you feel normally if you were honest with yourself? Am I generally worried? Am I generally agitated? Am I generally think that I'm surrounded with jerks, idiots? You know, well, when we simply have a different set point, like, you know what? Everybody's doing the best they can. You know, I know that they don't have bad intentions, that actually they may be self-interested, but they're not bad, you know, or whatever it might be, that I can, by letting go of my resentment towards them, that's actually good for me. That would be a new understanding. Certainly, you know, for a lot of us, we see holding on to it as it's going to keep me safe. So this is how we move in between. We release our judgments and our assumptions. And with that, we take on new understandings. But this is almost impossible unless you have literally rewired your neurology. Our subconscious, which is the thing that causes us to feel a certain way, exploits our body to create a feeling. And then we get trapped. I feel like they're jerks, and I will look for the evidence of them being a jerk, and I will find it. And then I just continue on. And that's how an entire lifetime can go. So the amazing thing that happens is that you can move permanently into this elevated level like Sandra when you are absent those old neurological subconscious patterns. And that's what happens. Does that make sense? I know that there was somebody who had a question on that. Does that, tell me if that makes sense to everybody? You can put in the chat if you like.
I want to let everybody know that in the replays this tomorrow, we absolutely will give you some more information. So we only have a short time here, and we weren't able to get into everything. There's so much on this. It's incredible, but we do have some material we'll be giving you that will help you understand. So if you'll just stand by and wait for the replay for tomorrow, we'll dig into more of that. What we know is that we measure the voltage of a person. We measure all of the systems of your body before and after Cogno Conscious. And we can see the voltage equal to what we hear happens after the life. And we know that what it is that you just have a lot more horsepower, a lot more clarity. You don't have programs running in your body that are actually suppressing and holding down your awareness or consciousness. So the most simple way is that when you have something running in your body like a trauma, a thing that happened to you in your past, that your unique system believes is a problem for you, your body, your limbic system sets up a threat assessment. This is a problem. Look here, look here, look here, look here. This is a problem. This is a problem. This is a problem. Even though today you're safe, it's not a problem anymore, but your system thinks it is. So it gobbles your horsepower, your energy, and runs that program and makes it bigger and bigger. And you feel a certain way. Y'all know it. You feel stuck. You feel depressed. You feel angry. You feel apathetic. You want to go lay in the road. You feel resentful. You feel even anything less than courage, even at courage. Courage is I'm half in, I'm half out. I'm half in, I'm half out, right? When you get to the neutrality level, a lot of that releases and the voltage raises. And all of a sudden, energy goes to that frontal lobe. We have this physical body to discern what's happening in this third, fourth, fifth dimension world. This physical body is the tuning fork, right? When we get that energy back, we're more and more and more in tune with those higher dimensions. We connect with them, we interact with them in the way that they interact. I mean, it's just science, it's nature. So we naturally buoy our energy there, and we begin to interact with that fourth and fifth dimension on the level that it exists. That's it. And when you're on those levels, things happen differently. You interact with electricity differently. You interact with light differently. Time becomes a horse of a very different color. Many of us can attest to this. We've had very many interesting time anomalies, including bending time at will. So I know this all sounds really hocus pocus to those of you who are not involved in the work we do, but it's actually very, very functional. We change the nervous system. We stop the threat assessments. We get the energy to raise in the body. Once it raises in the body, the energy is now sent to frontal lobes. It's sent to parts of the body that can have reason and rationalization and compassion. The compassion that raises in the body is it's unbelievable. That's why people are blessing everyone in the airport. And it sticks because your nervous system is changed permanently. It's not a seminar high and then you crash. It's not a session high and then you crash. It's that you are changed. And what Sandy was saying is, since her experience, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and it gets broader and broader, and it fills life even more. So go ahead, Bill.
Oh, I noticed Jonathan is here.
Yeah,
Jonathan, I'm not sure if he, because sometimes he's all over the world, so he might not have a good connection. But if he wants to say anything about what happened for him.
Yeah, I messaged him and I didn't.
Okay, no
Yeah.
problem.
But okay, guys, we're gonna do something tiny bit different. I want to end the session today with a Cogno movement session. Oh, Jonathan, do you want to share really quickly? He says he's here, but open your mic if you're on and you can share.
Leah needs to unmute him.
So while we're waiting for Jonathan, I just want to let everybody know.
Leah, yeah.
I want to let everybody know that we're going to have Leah share the offer for the event, but we're going to end with the session. So you leave on a high. So in just a couple of minutes here, we're going to start the session. Do we have you, Jonathan?
Yes. How are you guys?
Hey, hi.
Hi, Jonathan. Good to see you.
Likewise.
All right.
Yeah, so I was also in the same Cogno Conscious that Sandra was saying and Bill are talking about. And it's definitely wonderful, like we did go through a lot of changes. There was a point that for me was very interesting when we reached the point of forgiveness. My body like locked in and was like, no, I'm not letting go. So those are the things that we're clearing out with Cogno and doing the exercise, like find that, oh, I don't want to let go because of this or because of that. And of course, sometimes you just have to cry it out and then you're able to like move on from that. And of course, relationships change. That situation was with my mom and it's definitely super changed. Like communications being more loving, more understanding, more easygoing. Not like every time there's a communication, it's like a huge, crazy tension because again, of all the possible resentment or feelings I had because of what the past was, right? So yeah, that and a lot of magical stuff, a lot of crazy dreams, like good dreams, After that whole thing with my mother, I felt in my dream there was like an integration of a feminine figure and a masculine in the dream, and they kind of forgave each other in the dream. So, it's like ways your psyche is also telling you you're healing, you're doing the work, you're becoming more loving. And I mean, I've had wonderful experiences and sometimes I forget and I'm frustrated. Even just now before, as you guys were talking, I was doing a session because I'm like, oh, I'm feeling flustered and frustrated and I don't want this feeling, like I feel like I've been holding on to it for the past couple of days. And I'm like, like as you say, in that mood. And it's just great, you realize, oh, I'm just tired of this or whatever, and like finally the energy transforms in your body. So outside of all the miraculous things that can happen for vibrating high on love, it's just having peace of mind, having just like a lighter perspective on things and just transmuting all of that, and having free space in your RAM instead of being kind of crazy all the time. So it's wonderful experience, wonderful teachers. Love you all. I've learned so much. My life has changed so much on many ways, just some crazy changes, like I remember when you said like sometimes things might just change too much, but that's also because you've changed kind of your basis now. So a lot of things might break down, but it was hard, but I see where we're going with it, so
did you have any changes in your business?
Well, I am now starting a marketing agency and it's like, I mean, it looks very promising. So that's something exciting. And I've been focusing a lot on building my clothing business a lot. There's been like challenges which I want to clear on regards to like the construction of the garments and stuff, but the quality of them, it's been amazing. Like my business is still flourishing on many, many, many levels. And now I'm in Bogota and I have like a big house here that I'm trying to turn into like an art and cultural space. So there's definitely a lot of good stuff happening. It's all building and developing. So definitely, yes.
I love it. Hey, let's organize a retreat in Bogota.
Hey, no, I actually wanted to talk to you about it because I've showed Cognomovement to a couple of friends. And I have a friend, she's like, why don't you teach it? I'm like, oh, I don't want it. Like, I'm not trained. I know I can help people. And it'll be nice to, like find a way to share this because of course I see the value. And we will talk about it because a good friend of mine is like, why don't you talk to them? We try to bring it somehow, some way. And I've been thinking of doing the teacher training program. but it's a lot of times, a lot of things, but I do want to, definitely want to. So we'll get
I
to that. for
love it.
sure.
Let's
I
keep the
love
chat
it.
going. Bogota.
Good.
Bogota.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Bogota.
Bogota is
Bogota.
amazing. Bogota is gorgeous. It'll be fun to see you. Actually, I even have like with my friend, we're planning some retreats in my farm outside of Bogota, and it can host like up to 40 people. So we're trying to do like some like yoga retreats, meditation retreats and stuff. So maybe Cogno Movement retreat in my farm.
We're down.
That could be fun. Okay, guys.
I love
Jonathan,
it.
See you in the
it's so
session.
awesome. So awesome to see you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Likewise. Thank
Can't
you
wait to
guys so
see your
much.
face
Mwah.
again. Bye.
Bye,
By
guys.
the
Bye,
way, that
Bill. Bye,
design-
Leah. Bye, Sandra.
Bye.
Everybody.
That design behind Jonathan, that's one of his. He is a fashion and clothing designer, one of the many things he does. All right. So Leah, would you just tell everybody what the offer is for the event so we can get that out of the way, and let's move into our session.
Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna talk a little bit about Cogno Conscious, and I've got a super awesome thing for you. So just stay with me for just a couple minutes. Hold on, I'm gonna share my screen. Can everybody see my screen? Yeah,
Yep.
okay. All right, so Cogno Conscious 2023, you guys have heard us talk about it a million times, but it's just that amazing. So during Cogno Conscious, we're going to go through the Hawkins scale using Cognomovement. We're going to use Cogno Quantum, and we're going to use the map of awareness. So Bill talked a little bit about it. So the map of consciousness, the levels of awareness, it's from a book by Dr. David Hawkins. So if you want to learn more about this scale, you can. But what we're using it for is we're actually going to go through all of these different levels in the 4 days during Cogno Conscious, and we're going to get those blocks removed, emotions, physical sensations removed from our body, all the way up the scale, all the way up the energetic points. So that's just gives you a little bit of an overview of that. Using Cogno Quantum, we're going to actually show you how to reach out and touch those blocks in your energetic field outside of your body and get them out. And we're actually going to show you how to reach out and get those things that you do actually want, those manifestations, and how to bring them in. Whoever drew this is just, this is a masterpiece. Anyway, it was me, I drew it. So then we're also going to go through the maps of the level of awareness. And this is where we get are you willing to let go of the third dimension in order to live a fifth dimension life? So we go through all of this. What happens in the third dimension, just what Bill was talking about. What happens when you get up to the fourth dimension, and what happens when you get up to the fifth dimension? And you're actually going to be able to experience that during this event. So the question is, are you ready? And you are going to process an entire emotional scale from shame to enlightenment in just 4 days. This is a really intense event. It's a really amazing event, and these changes are often described as miraculous. So on top of all of that, it's going to be in sunny San Diego in Mission Bay. I just want to give you a little overview of that because it's really an amazing place. Oh gosh, now I can't remember the name of it.
La Jolla.
La Jolla, there you go. In La Jolla, sometimes it's called the Rodeo Drive of San Diego. There's lots of really cool shopping, lots of really cool, eateries and bars and all kinds of cool stuff. So that's fun. Lots of art and culture. This is a museum that's very close. It's actually a few museums and some really cool places. There is golfing. And I know that, some of you might love golfing, some of you might hate it, but there actually is a really cool night golfing in Mission Bay. And probably the best thing that I could share with you is that there is a dog beach. But if you don't want to travel, if you're not taking a car, there are tons of really funky shops in Mission Bay. There's Belmont Park, which you can see here. really cool cafes, and there's also like sailing lessons and all kinds of stuff. So this is a really amazing place to be with this event. So there's a couple things that you need to know. If you get tickets to Cogno Conscious, you will be able to come to Basic Training Live on March 4th. You're going to come to our secret class on March 10th, which is going to help you prepare for Cogno Conscious. And just so you know, ticket prices are going up on February 25th. That's Saturday. So you're going to want to take advantage of this. And on top of all of that, what's really exciting is that we're going to give you the Manifest Magic recorded class. So this class is really fun. It's about 5 to 6 hours, and you're going to get it in your inbox next month in March before Cogno Conscious. And so in this class, you're going to be shown the insider secrets to manifesting using the physics of your body and the natural world in this action-packed full-day class. You discover the simple steps that you may have been missing all along. Find out how you can change the timeline you're living now for one that works much better for you. You'll finally understand how to choose your manifestations in a way that will ensure a quick return. And we'll be using Cogno movement principles and Cogno quantum techniques from the basics to advanced. So this is an extra class, and likely this is something that we're not going to do again. These classes are really, really valuable, and it takes us a lot of time. So we don't normally give classes away for free, but we're going to do it for you this time if you buy tickets before Saturday, before the ticket prices go up. So thank you for listening. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. If you want to learn more, go to cognomovement.com/Cogno Conscious. If you have any questions, you can email me at info@cognomovement.com. And if you want me to call you today and you have any questions about Cogno Conscious, just private message me your phone number and your name in the chat really quick. And take it away, Liz.
All right. So yes, if you've already bought tickets, you get everything. You don't miss out on anything at all. So you get the free class, you get everything. So if you already have tickets. All right. So let's start our session. Here's the what you need to know, the preamble, is that if you don't have a Cogno movement ball, that's fine. Grab something that you can put your attention on, like, something with a little bit of color. You could use a pen if you want to. The prompt for this session is, who will you be in the fifth dimension? Now we're going to travel through time just a little bit, and we're going to feel what it would actually feel like while we rewrite the code in our nervous system. So this is a part of Cogno Conscious where we're exploring a little bit. You don't have to know exactly who you'll be. It'll start to emerge. So the question is, who will you be in the fifth dimension? And who did you come to be? One of the things that happens with Cogno movement in general is that with every session, you become more of who you came to be, who you intended to be before you came on the planet. And we know that each of these things allows you to move closer and closer to that eventuality, becoming who you came to be, doing what you came to do, being what you came to be, knowing what you came to know, experiencing what you came to experience, no longer being held back. So I'm going to have you let your eyes drop, but don't close. We don't need to go internal. Let your eyes drop like you're looking through your own shirt. And then you're actually just going to take that item, if you have a Cogno ball, and move it down to about your belly button area. And just go left and right very slowly. And take a big, deep breath. And just listen to my prompt. Let your eyes follow the object or the ball. And keep both hands on the object or the ball, left and right about belly level, kind of second chakra. Big deep breath and ask the question. You're on mute, so say it out loud. Who will I be in the fifth dimension? And then notice how your body feels. Notice if anything comes. It doesn't have to. It's all right. Just notice how your body starts to feel. What's the reaction? Move up to the waist level just slightly, just a little bit higher. Eyes on the ball or object. Both hands left and right gently. Who did I come to be? Who did I come to this planet to be? Left and right. Notice how your body just reacted. Did you feel it? Breathe. Just have the experience for the moment, whatever you're feeling in the body. And it's a sensation, not necessarily an emotion, but a sensation. Just notice what it is. Did you just get warm, cool? Did your belly act up? Did your belly contract? Did you feel something in your shoulders? Feel it, whatever it is. And ask it out loud, just a little louder. We want to turn on that auditory nerve. Who did I come here to be? Ask the question. Feel left and right. Move up to your solar plexus. Up to the solar plexus, left and right, eyes on the ball. Feeling into your body. We're in the body now. We're in the kinesthetic region of your brain and your visual reference, right at the solar plexus. What did I come to do? Ask it out loud to nobody in particular. And breathe, feeling your body. Who did I come to be? What did I come to do? Left and right, you're doing great. Beautiful. What did I come to do here? Notice how your body reacts. Notice if there's a discomfort somewhere or an elation somewhere else. Whatever it is, it's good. Feel it. Let yourself smile. Let's move up to the heart region. Left and right, eyes on the ball. Moving into the heart chakra. What did I come to know this time around? Say it out loud. Activate that auditory nerve. Who did I come to be? What did I come to do? And what did I come here to know? Breathe into it. Let the feeling, good, bad, or ugly, expand. Notice your body's reaction. Your body has an opinion about what you came to know. Feel it. Good. You're doing so well. Move up into the throat now. Notice that throat chakra activate just a little. You know what I'm about to say here, don't you? Say it out loud. What did I come to say this time around? What did I come to say? Say it out loud. Eyes, ears, and body are all activated now. What did I come to say this time around? And feel. Notice how your body reacted. Notice if there's something in your throat. Just let it be. Moving into the eyes and ears, we're in the realm of the logical mind now, in visual reference, in the field, left and right. Slow it way down. Eyes on the ball or object. Slow it way down and feel your body now. What did I come to experience here this time around? What did I come to see? What did I come to hear? And breathe. Body's reacting. You know it is. Feel into it. Whatever it's doing, let it be there. There's no right or wrong. Just feel it. Your body has an opinion. What did you come to see? Experience? Witness? No. Feel into it. Say it out loud. Whole body's involved here. The body has an opinion. But I come to know, experience, hear, and see. Moving up to the forehead level, eyes are in the up position. We're moving into the realm of ideas and inspiration here. Breathe. Eyes on the ball, left and right. What did I come to really know? Ask it out loud. To no one in particular. What did I come to know? What did my consciousness come to know? Breathe into it. Noticing your body, notice if there's a slight shift in your energy as we move up above. Let your chin drop and your eyes move up, moving much more slowly now. Chin drop, eyes up, left and right, breathe. Noticing what the body's doing now. Good. What did I come to receive? Breathe into it and smile. What did I come to receive this time around? Who am I really here to be now? Breathe. All right, we're going to let your head drop and your eyes rest. And really feel into your body now. Notice what's happening. Notice what's the same and what's different. The game with Cogno movement is what's the same and what's different. How do I feel now than just 5 minutes before? Breathe. Whatever it is, let it flow. We're going to move the ball into your left hand or your object, and you're going to move it right to the side of your face, head forward and eyes aside, and really let your eyes stretch. We're going to let your whole system now have a look at all of this. Who did you come to be? Moving the ball gently down under your chin, keeping your head level, eyes stretched. What did I come to know? Moving into the right side, really let the eyes stretch, keeping it close. What did I come to say? Moving up like you're looking through your eyebrow. What did I come to experience? Up over the head now, who will I be in the fifth dimension? Cross the top, slow, 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 keeping your head level, chin down, down to the left side again. Let your eyes stretch even more. Who did you come to be? Feel it. Let it flow. What did you come to know? What did you come to say? What did you come to do here? What part of consciousness did you come to serve in its raising in this exact time, moving up the right side slowly in this place where you live with the people that you know, moving across the top now? What's your role here? What's your part? Let your body tell the truth now. Breathe into it. Feel your body. Big deep breath. One more time around. Let your eyes stretch even more in this down position. We're letting all the parts of your nervous system, your physical body, take a look. Who did you come to be? Breathe into it. Let your body tell the truth. Just feel it. Let your eyes really stretch. What did you come to know? What did you come to say? Who will you be as the planet moves into the fifth dimension? How will you lead? How will you support? Breathe. Feeling into your body. Excellent. Let your object drop, put it down, let your eyes rest. Big deep breaths, and just notice how you're different just in this moment from just a few minutes before. What does it feel like in your body to have asked the questions, to have experienced, to consider? Who will you be? What will you know? What will you have? What will you do? What's your part? All right, let's really move some energy now. We're going to run our ears. So we're not, normally we would cross, but this time we're going to go here into the top of the ears, and you're just going to pinch and wiggle. And it's an ear massage, so go slow. And let your eyes move gently up over your head and just tick-tock left and right. And really feel those ears. Feel, who will I be? Let yourself smile if it's interesting in that fifth dimension. Left and right, move down the ears slightly, just slightly massage. What energy will I be moving? What part will I play? What joys will I experience? Joys available, absolutely available in the fifth dimension. What joy will you experience? Move down just slightly now, left and right. Move your eyes across the ceiling, let your chin drop. What bliss will I know in the fifth dimension? When my consciousness simply shifts and is equal to the energy of the fifth dimension. Breathe, feel your body. Notice any soreness in the ears. What acceptance will I have? Just ask the question. And breathe, moving down the ear. What love will I be experiencing? What love will I know? Good. Breathe. Where will I experience full neutrality? Full neutrality about mid-ear now. Sometimes it's easier now to bend your arms down. You're about just below the mid-ear, left and right, eyes on the ceiling. What will I know? Where will you be on the planet? In that fifth dimension, where will you go? What of this planet will you experience that you never dreamt you could experience? Breathe into it. Moving down the ears slightly. We're going to move into that low lobe and breathe. Let your eyes rest and your head drop, but just massage that lower lobe. We're in the brain here, actually. Breathe. Whenever you pull your ears gently forward, take a big deep breath in and pop. Let them go. You're going to shake it off. Kind of let your head move some energy in your body. Shake it off. Turn your head to the left. Big deep breath in. But what you're going to do is you're going to let that jaw drop, you know, like a vampire's jaw drops, and gasp. Hold it, hold it, hold it, and let it out. Whoa. Head to the other side. Drop. Gasp. Hold it, hold it, hold it, and release. And notice, how does your body feel different in this moment? Just consider it, and we'll let the chest have a little thump here, little King Kong action. How do you feel? What's different now? Is there something that you know now about who you might be? Something you never thought you wanted or could have that you now are at least suspicious has become available? Have you ever considered who you might be if you had absolute ability to shift and change at will? Good. Just shake it out. And if you will, in the chat, just put, what do you know now that you didn't know before? And while people are typing, Bill McKenna, if there's anything you want to add, what do you know now that you didn't know before about yourself in the fifth dimension, fourth dimension? Put it in the chat. One thing. What do you know now? Go ahead, Bill. We can't hear you, Bill.
You might have found during the process that you had some kind of information come that you're like, huh, that's odd. And there is a biological reason for this. Liz is having you do things that you wouldn't ordinarily do. Your eyes and your brain are one, and also your spinal cord, that's one neurological system. So with that, you might have gotten some information you hadn't considered before. So even though maybe some of it seems disparate, just, tuck it away, and you can kind of noodle on it throughout your day. You might find, oh, that's how that relates.
So this group is incredible. We know anybody who comes to this group is ready and at this consciousness level of being ready to receive. So Robin says she's grateful for the trial and certainly going through a massive opportunity to learn and shift instead of fight it. Yes, that's it, Robin. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Learn and grow through this stuff. I'm free. Denise says, I'm free. I am a great being. I'm a creator. Absolutely. Yes. A healer and leader kind of thing. Yes. If you're here, we know that you've been called to lead. It's just the natural way it goes. People are being called to this planet to bring this information, to bring the fourth and fifth dimension through their own bodies onto the planet and share the availability. So that's what you're here for. Good. Open to receive, says Alice. Good. I'm here to create, says Julie. Yeah, you guys are amazing. I'm free, says Andrea. Daniel says life is more about play and fun. Absolutely. Joy becomes available at that upper fourth dimension. And it's incredible. You find yourself happy for no reason. Weird, weird, weird for those of us who have struggled our whole lives just to kind of make it by, when all of a sudden you're singing a happy tune and you don't know why. At first, it's kind of weird. And then you realize, you settle into it, and it becomes, just like Sandy said, your natural way of being. Yeah, understanding rather than understanding. Yes, Shanti. Gloria said she had a few tears releasing. She feels lighter. Good. Shanti says she knows she's on the path, unfolding in an alignment, so ready to heal the brain and feel so many possibilities. Yeah, you guys are amazing. Sneeze and yawn. Yes, Vani, that's right. Sneezing and yawning, that's perfectly natural with Cogno movement. Your body physically starts to release the hormonal, chemical, emotional patterns. They're physical. They're part of your physical body. So they will sometimes release through yawning, burping, tooting. All right, you guys. We have kept you way after school. We want to let you go on a really lovely note. Please reach out to Leah, info@cognomovement.com. If you want to come to Cogno Conscious, or you're curious about the practitioner training, any of that stuff, you're welcome to reach out to Leah. Please open your email tomorrow. We will be sending you a couple of extra pieces of information that will answer some of your questions, and the replay of what we did today. So thanks for being here, Bill McKenna, Leah Larson.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you everyone for being here. We are so appreciative that you're here and that you are on your path and that you're doing the work. So we'll see you all really soon, hopefully in San Diego very soon. So bye, Sandy, bye, Shanti, bye, Charles, bye, Jason, bye, Daniel, bye, Alice, another Alice, bye, Robin, bye, Denise, bye, Gloria, bye, Patricia, bye, Sheila, bye, Lisa and Lori, Helen, Autumn, Julia, bye, Vani, bye, Cassandra, another one of our practitioners, Vani and Cassandra, bye, Nicole, bye, Penn, bye, Stephanie, bye, Jill, bye, Thomas, bye, Maren, bye, Deborah, bye, Julie N, bye, Catherine, bye, Angela, bye, Pamela. I hope that's our wonderful Pamela. Bye, Jacqueline, bye, Alice, and bye, Gloria. Gloria, I know you just joined. Watch for the replay tomorrow in your inbox. See you all soon. Big love. Bye.
Thank you.